And we're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Kalak C1, thank you for being here. As you can see, I'm running a little bit late, but it's Monday morning, and I'm sure there are a lot of other people out there that are running late this morning. You know, one of them mornings where you're running out the door with one leg in the pants and one leg out the pants trying to get the other one in. It's one of those kind of mornings this morning. Shout out to everybody going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special big up and shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck drivers, all the drivers on the road, especially my truck drivers and especially the long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the entrepreneurs. Shout out to the stay-at-home moms and pops, those working from home, those who lost their job or are going through financial hardship at this time because of the whole lockdown, COVID, layoff, all that stuff that we're dealing with. Shout out to you. You're not forgotten, okay? There are people out here that know what you're going through. So it's one of those years for almost all of us. Shout out to every single clean-hearted, good-hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. Shout out to you. Again, I'm running a little bit late this morning, but I won't say that again. I'll just pretend that I was early. You know when you reach work late, but you just keep on your early face? I'm just going to pretend that I was early this morning and carry right on with the show. Big up on yourself and thank you for tuning in. Let me call out some people before we move forward. Don White, thank you for being here. Belinda Watson, good morning. Ed Marine Dixon, I appreciate you greatly. Thank you for being here. Nicole Bazar, thank you for being here. Kalak, I already shout you out. Let me shout you out again. You were the first one here. Kalak C1, first one here this morning. Thank you for being here. Andrew Rowe, hello, good morning. Haven't seen that name in a while. Old John Crow 416 Track Star Music. You won't forget that name, but then again, it's so long. Laugh out loud. Thought you slept in though. Yeah, I almost did until an angel hit me this morning and was like, babe, you know, the morning thoughts. And I was like, what? It was like, it's 5:55. I started running. Here I am. And in the process of running, you know what my 17 minutes was used to do? To make a cup of tea. And this morning I'm working with some green tea. Simple green tea, nothing else. It just says green tea. It don't have no fancy name. It doesn't come from no company. It just says green tea. Like when you used to get government cheese and these things on government food, and you used to come back in the day, it used to come in this box or this container that had no label on it, just blah. That's what I'm working with this morning, just green tea. So I took that time to go wash my face, brush my teeth, fix a cup of tea, still running and all that. So we have two topics this morning. Shout out some more people. Let me see. Desmond Harper, good morning. Thank you for being here. Taz Tizzle, big up yourself. Manners and respect, and thank you for being here. Lorna Channer, thank you for being here. Avril Hilton Williams. When I say something I can't read though. Thank you, thank you for being here. Stafford Hayden, Stacey Ann, thank you for being here. Roseanne Brooks, Spencer Archibald, and the list goes on and on. If I don't call your name, Dino Sims, I'll get to you if I don't call your name. LOL. I'm having black tea this morning. You have black tea this morning. I'm having green tea this morning. I do have some black tea. And the black tea has some other kind of thing cut up in it, but it tastes really good as well. Strange kind of taste, but it tastes good. Wagwan Bounty Boom. We're there. Early morning vibes. It's Monday. It's money-making Monday, people. Not manic Monday, even though I felt a bit manic. But just wake up and just wake up. Probably still have like pillow creases and everything. But it's manic. It's manic. It's money-making Mondays. I know Mondays could seem kind of manic sometimes because, you know, the weekend is over and it's like, oh, I wish I put them shoes that were more weird this morning and because you didn't lay stuff out from last night and all this other stuff. I find myself becoming a civilian again in so many ways. Like, I'm losing that You have to be up at this time, on the go at this time, everywhere, 20 minutes, 15 minutes early. So now I'm slipping. I'm sleeping in a little bit later, being more relaxed about things. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It means that I'm not on edge as much as I used to be. I used to wake up in the morning, you got to run 5 miles first, and then you got to lift weights for an hour. And then I was on a regiment for years. So I'm taking a break, and my body could use the break. Now I'm becoming normal again. All right, Arlene Can't Stoppable says, now I know you were late. I was I was gonna say no, I was on the other channel, but that's a lie. I was late. I was late, boss. I was late. Thank God I won't be written up or getting fired for it, but I was late. I apologize for being late. I'll try my best to be on time. All right, so I got 2 stories this morning for you. One of them is a tragedy, and one of them is a success story. Because it's Monday morning, and because it's morning, and because we want to start the day off right, I'm going to start the day off with the success story first. All right. Before I start the day off with this success story, before I went to bed last night, I felt this feeling like, just remember to say this in the morning because somebody needs to hear this. Don't put any time limit on your success. And don't define success by other people's standards. Because a lot of us are doing it. We're putting a time limit on our success. We must accomplish these things. It's good to have goals, but putting a time limit on when you think you're going to hit success, that's causing a lot of pressure for a lot of us, right? And then you start to get older, when you're young and you're full of enthusiasm and you're like, yeah, I'm 19 now. By the time I'm 25, I'm going to be rich. And then you pass 25 and you're not rich. You're still struggling, even though you're doing a little better than you were at 19, because you see the world a little bit different now. You're a bit more motivated and more focused, but still you didn't hit rich. And you're like, oh gosh, okay, so it's not going to happen. I got to be rich by the time I'm 30. I'm working hard at everything. And then 30 passed and you're still not rich. And you're like, oh, put that added pressure on yourself. So don't put a time limit. Success comes when it comes. Put the work in. Just continue to put the work in and believe that, or know rather than believe, know that all good work brings about good pay. All good work brings about good pay. Matter of fact, all work is rewarded. So sloppy work is rewarded, lazy work is rewarded, and dedication and hard work is also always rewarded. So you just have to put the work in. Stay focused, keep your nose to the grind, as we say, and stay focused and keep your goal at the forefront of your mind. And then you have some of us who are like, oh, I'm giving up because I'm past the age where I should have made it already and I haven't made it yet. Dangerous something. People find success all in them 70s and just hit it. I was just watching this program and the lady and her husband worked until they were like 65, I think it was, that kind of age group. And then they retired. And when they retired, they barely had enough to retire on, and they were worried. It's one of them programs that were, I forgot what it was that they did after retirement. And it turns out that after retirement is when they met their millions. And I mean millions. They were able to like splash money around now, build this custom home, pay off all their grandchildren's tuition who are going to college, buy family members who they favor houses, pay them off, all this. They came into real money. And it was through some real estate something that they did. And they started earning one property, flipping properties to 2 properties to 3. I think they ended up at like 50 something properties under their name, to the point where they're like, this is too much, right? And they have a staff that handles So you don't know where your success is going to come from sometimes, and you don't know when. You definitely don't have a time limit on it. So don't put no time limit on it. And definitely don't measure success by other people's definition of success. You know, some people say, oh, you got to have a mansion, and then you got, or some big sprawling house, you know, 8 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, en suites. You got to have all this stuff. You have to have a lot of money in the bank. If it ain't over $1 million, then you're not making it. You got to, don't define yourself by other people's definition of success. Your success should be something else to you. And that's why a lot of us are unhappy as ever. You see this phone thing that we have, no joke. Big thing, talking. My daughter, she's 6 years old. She was sitting, I don't know where she get this thing from lately. She's talking about, I need to go buy her some Chanel. And what else she said yesterday? I don't want to get the name wrong, but she's using names like Chanel and Louis Vuitton and Birkin bags and all this. This is a 6-year-old. She sat down beside me yesterday, and my spirit got crossed, but I made sure I didn't answer in the wrong way because I understand where it's coming from. But I took the time to educate her, though, on what success is or what riches is, because she sat down and we were watching one of her shows, and she said, you better get rich sometime soon because I want a good life. This is my daughter, you know, a 6-year-old. She said, you better get rich sometime soon because I want a good life. She flip her hair like this because I want a good life. Okay. I said, I thought about it for a second, and it kind of made me feel like, wow, your 6-year-old don't see you as a success because you're not rich. Right. And then I thought about it and I was like, I am rich. But her definition of rich at 6 is what she is seeing on television. So she sees, and I said to her, I said, I am rich. And she says, nah, nah, like, where's the big house? Where's the like 2-story house and she's calling out different cars and stuff. I'm looking at this 6-year-old. So she's programmed already or being programmed already through whatever programs she watches. You know, they have the rich kids, and you sit and you fantasize. I used to do it. I'm sure a lot of you used to do it on your favorite shows when you would see them have these kind of lifestyles, and you used to dream of being in. I can't remember a favorite show from when I was growing up. You used to dream of being in that. Like, well, one day I'm not gonna live in a one house like that, you know. Oh, them have 4 car downstairs. We not even have one. We not even have bicycle. One day I'm gonna have one of them car there, you know. I probably want 4 car like that too, and a big house like that too. And so it hit me hard when the 6-year-old said to me, "Say you better." And I'm like, I'm rich already. I told her I'm rich already, and I said, "You're rich already too." She goes, "No, no, no, we're not." So of course I had to let her know that, you know what riches is. Let me tell you what riches is for me. And then I also told her, look, maybe you need to turn the TV off. Maybe you need to turn the TV off a little bit more and spend time with the people that are around you a little bit more. Like, really see what you have and really appreciate what you have. Now, you know, this might not be hitting so hard with a 6-year-old because she just sees what she sees now. You know what I'm saying? So she's not trying to hear the whole, you woke up this morning, you were healthy. None of us are in a hospital. You have your family. All these people love you and care about you, care about your safety, and you have decent places to live. Like, all your family members around you own houses and you have big backyards to play in and all this. She was looking at me like this. She just shaking her head like, whatever, dad. That's not rich. Okay. So her definition of rich, and us as grown people, we do it. Get on this thing and you start looking. And first you went on here to look and see. Let me see what them I say on Instagram. Let me see what my favorite people them I say on Instagram. Any late trending news, anything like that. And before you know it, you start admiring people's lifestyle, right? Or the fabricated lifestyle. Now, whether it's fabricated or it's real, It's there. And you start admiring, nice house. Jeez. You do it from people body. One body like that. Him look like him work out all the time. Six pack well chisel up. Or if it's a girl, you're like, she have the perfect size fit to them. Me not have them. But one day when me get money, me I get a surgery and make everything right. And you start fantasizing off of what other people have, right? Their cars look nicer to you, their homes look nicer to you, them body look nicer to you, them look like them work out all the time and always ready for lights, camera, action, and all this. And you start to feel like, damn, I'm failing. If you want, if you want to feel like a failure, stay on social media for a long time. I'm failing. Or if you want to feel like you're not catching up enough, then stay on social media for a long while. That's all that's on there for you. All right. And I'm trying to tell you that ain't no time limit on it. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Just do the work and do something that you're passionate about. Yeah. And that means you're already successful to be able to wake up every day to do exactly what you love to do. Work your way into that position. That's success to me. Success to me is not name brand clothes and fancy expensive jewelry and a big old fancy house and cars, multiple cars in the driveway and a big old walk-in closet with hundreds of pairs of shoes and all this. And I'm flying here, there, and everywhere. That's somebody else's lifestyle. That's not mine. I would like to jump in and out of it, and I do jump in and out of it. But to wake up and live it every day, that's not my dream. That's not my vision of success. That is somebody else's vision of success. And I'm only human, so of course, it's imprinted in my mind as well, because we're bombarded from all angles by this need to succeed, and you're not succeeding enough. Because if you buy the Toyota Corolla new, then somebody else have a Benz. And if you go buy the Benz, because now you're stepping up, right? And you're buying the Benz and somebody else now have a Maserati. And you buy the Maserati and somebody else now have a Phantom. And you buy the Phantom and somebody else now has what the next one name? The wild one that costs $500,000 and $600,000 a car and all this, a Lamborghini SUV. And if you don't, like, you're chasing somebody else's dream constantly, so you're missing out on the fact that you have come from so far, you have accomplished so much, and you have more than the basics already. It's just like Bugatti. Thank you. Who that? Angie wrote, thank you so much. You see, you might be like my daughter, because I bet if she was here, she would have been like, Bugatti, like the one that you don't have, Dad? She real slick. Her little mouth is real slick. But it's a girl. And I'm enjoying watching her grow. Funny the stuff that comes out of her mouth. So we're starting off this morning with the success story, and then we're going to go into the tragedy story. All right? So the success story is this. How does a shy little lisp-tongued girl from Kingston end up as a Supreme Court judge in New York, beating back cancer and COVID-19 along the way? Carol Sharpe still doesn't quite know how she did it, but she was elected to the Supreme Court on November 3rd. So you can go and look her up. I'm going to tell you exactly where the article is that I'm reading, and you can go look it up. She said, I never thought that somebody like me could become a judge, just like I never thought I could be a trial attorney. So she was doubting herself the whole way, right? And this was printed recently in the Observer. So on Saturday afternoon, via Zoom, they had a live meeting, and she was saying all these things, and they gave us the print for it. The only time her busy schedule allows for an interview. She's now focused on mastering an entirely new era of law, and failure has never been an option for Sharpe. The sixth of 7 children, one of whom is also a well-known journalist, Michael Sharpe. She mimicked her siblings, knack for hardworking during early years, and always at the back of her mind, there was the thought that she had to make her parents proud. In the 60s, her mother, like many other Jamaican matriarchs, then got a job in the US as a domestic worker. You see that? Domestic worker. We don't know what domestic worker is, right? Got a job as a domestic worker. Look at that. You used to be a domestic worker, and here's your child getting elected to the Supreme Court as a judge. Now, this didn't come overnight, and this definitely didn't happen in young age. So, in the 1960s, her mother, like many other Jamaican matriarchs, she got a job in the US as a domestic worker. Mother Sharpe's employers sponsored her, and she got a green card. Then she methodically paved the way for the rest of her family to join her. Ain't that so many of us story though? Right? My mother get a thing, she come through, she set it up, and then same thing for my father, set it up and then send for the rest, and so on. That's how most of us got here in the first place, right? So she said that mommy set up the things, got the sponsorship, then she methodically paved the way for the rest of her family. The children immigrated by age group, the last three leaving together when the teen, who is now Justice Sharpe, finished the Queen's School in St. Andrew. By then, her eldest sister had moved to Canada, the second oldest doing her master's degree while working for the Jamaican government as a diplomat to the United Nations, and her two brothers worked at night and went to school during the day. Domestic worker. Sharpe and two other siblings who immigrated together in 1976 buckled down and put in the work when they finally joined the rest of the family. She studied sociology at Lehman College, feeding a vague notion that she would ultimately find a job that would allow her to help people. But she had no firm plans for the future when she graduated in 1980. Lehman College started a paralegal program, and I joined it because I didn't have a job, nor was I going on to graduate school. You've got to do something, right? And she did. This is what she recalled of the road that led her to where she is now. But even when she was studying to be a paralegal, it never occurred to her that she could actually be a lawyer. A friend of one of her sisters suggested that she apply to law school, and she did. But soon after she began at Boston University School of Law, she almost gave up. The first couple of weeks where I felt so isolated. People don't really talk to you. I was out of my church community, out of my Jamaican community. I had no community. I said, I can't do this. I can't do it. I'm going home. And I'm a black woman. There said, and I'm a black woman. And a black woman there said to me, too much blood was shed for you to be here. No, no, no. You're not going anywhere. So I stayed. After she finished law school you see how motivation can work also? She's there ready to give up, right? She's in a strange country. She is not used to their cultures and customs. I can so relate to this. She has worked her way to a certain part, and now she is doubting more than ever. Nobody here is speaking to me. I feel out of place. I'm away from my church community. I'm away from my Jamaican community. I'm away from family. Listen, I'm going home. I need to be around my people, around what I'm familiar with. And somebody grabbed her. As she said, it was a black woman that was there that grabbed her and said, listen, a lot of blood has been shed for you to make it this far. You're not going anywhere. You can do this. Stay. And she stayed, right? Too much blood was shed for you to be here. No, no. So I stayed, she said. Now, after she finished law school in 1984, she still felt lost until she passed the bar on her first try. That gave her the confidence to apply for a job with the Bronx District Attorney's DA office. in its annual intake of newly minted attorneys that were admitted to the bar. There was nobody else there with an accent like mine. You can imagine. I used to speak with a lisp. So I had to train myself not to speak with a lisp. I never thought that with my lisp, with my accent, that I would be a trial attorney. But when you're in the DA's office, that's what you do. I stayed there for several years. I tried homicide cases, I tried robbery cases, I tried attempted murder cases. So basically, she tried all kinds of cases. And by the time she left in 1993, she had worked her way up to be an assistant district attorney. Remember, you know, the motivation in this story is I like a girl from Kingston, this with a heavy lisp tongue, heavy lisp. So she probably talk like this. And not only that, she is in a strange land. So you got to put your accent with your lisp and then around strangers all the time and the pressure to make it. This is out of great respect for their mom as well. I haven't heard anything about their dad. Typical of a lot of our success stories. A lot of our success stories have the children make it and the daddies were not there. This is just true. I saw somebody who obviously was not Jamaican said it. And me being the typical Jamaican that I am, just like everybody else, I got offended. Because I was like, I wanted to say, shut the up, right? But then I had to own up to it. I had to eat it. It's true. I know a lot of good Jamaican men, including myself. I pride myself on being that way because I truly believe that after you're gone, you just want people to remember you in a good way. And that is how you live on, right? But that's just my own principle. But we do have most of these success stories. Daddy was not there. Not there. And if you ask them, ain't no daddy around. It's just mommy alone. But I don't know about her case. I'm going to read on some more. I haven't read through this yet. So daddy might very well be there, but just a silent player. I want people to know that a lot of the times, because enough Jamaican man, as they get older especially, they're like more reserved and more quiet. They're not hype up and they're not on the front line. They're more than likely in the background doing work. So shout out to the ones that do that because you have those that do. You have some Jamaican man out there will work out them soul case, 2 and 3 jobs to make sure that their family is okay. They do, right? And there are actually a lot of them out there. It just so happened that there are a lot more of those who, you know, gallus culture, and we have 2 gal and 3 gal, and before you know it, you have 3 and 4 and 5 baby mother, and before you know it, you know, and then some of us never get to the point where we're like, okay, responsibility time, buckle down, at least take care of your children. You couldn't be faithful to the mothers of your children. You couldn't build a solid, stay with kind of for life foundation with one of the mothers of your children, but at least, and I speak even personally from my own personal experience, I'm not really hide nothing. So you end up being like, okay, dedicate the rest of your life to your children. Your children are here, right? A lot of us never get to that place. There are a lot that do, but there are many more that don't. So we are known as, oh, you gonna be pregnant for a Jamaican? Girl, be prepared to be on your own at some point. I've heard those conversations before. So big up to the good Jamaican man them was set the thing and those that carry on tradition. Shout out to my grandfather. My dad was one of them soldier guy that always on the go, wild and all that. But so my grandfather was my father. As in my grandfather was the guy that taught me foundation. He used to say he'll walk around with tear up body pants with his ass exposed if he has to, just to make sure that his children and his grandchildren had everything that they needed. So I understood sacrifice from early. I understood what it meant to be a man from early and to be there from early. That's why I used to say from I was little, before my sperm them didn't even have any use, I used to say, yeah, I want children. one day. And I want a lot of kids. And I want to be like my grandfather to those children, like how my grandfather was in my life and to me. Yeah. So somebody set the precedence and I'm following. Anyhow, her story is beautiful because her mom came to America like so many and was a domestic worker. And it was out of that respect for mommy and how hard mommy worked that her children decided that, you know what, I don't even like seeing her work like that. But we can't let her hard work go in vain. So we're going to do our best to be something. And they sure did, man. So, anyways, she then did a stint at as a defense lawyer for a medical malpractice firm, Bauer and Gardner, before it closed its doors. This was followed in 1994 by a job as executive agency counsel at the New York City Transit Authority, where she helped fight injury cases. Now, I don't know if she was fighting on the side, because some of them job here sound like, but you know, you have a mash con. I don't know. When it gets to that, some of these jobs sound like she was working on the side of the insurance company. So, kind of like if I got injured and my insurance company didn't want to pay out, I was just gonna throw that in there, not to put nothing negative in there, but she's chronicling her journey. And since I'm mentioning it in it, I like to be thorough so people understand. Sometimes you have to kiss ass before you can kick ass, is what they used to say to me as well. So she was going through her phases and her rounds, right? There were also changes in her personal life because she got married in 1996. Then in 1997, bad news came. You know them say when life's sweet, look for the ants, right? Honey is flowing, condensed milk, thick and rich and sweet. Look for the ants. So she got married in 96, and in 97, bad news struck. She was diagnosed with a cancerous tumor on her left femur. Now, with the combination of an internal prosthesis, a bone transplant, and crutches, she was back on her feet by 1998. It's a bionic woman, this. In January 2000, you see that? And she never gave up. So imagine your life is going so sweet. You're accomplishing all these things. 1996 come around, you get married. Boom, 97 comes around. This is life. And this is real life. And this is how life throws things at us. That's why you can't have no time limit. You just have to have a mindset that I'm going to get there, right? Don't put no time limit on it. Just have the mindset of endurance. Have the mindset of dedication. Have the mindset that I remember where I'm from and I remember my goals daily, where I'm going, what it is I'm trying to accomplish. Because life is going to throw you those curveballs. When you nice up and think everything good, you pack bag, you getting ready to go on this expensive, all-inclusive vacation, and boom, tragedy strikes. That's just life. That's how life goes. And you have to be ready for the roller coaster, the ups and downs, the twists and the turns. You can't give up, right? All right, so married 96, tragedy struck 97. Bad news, anyways. Diagnosed with a cancerous tumor on her left femur. That's the biggest bone in your body. Now, with the combination of an internal prosthesis, okay, so she had that done, a bone transplant, and crutches, she was back on her feet by 98. So she got knocked down 97, and she was back on her feet by 98. In January of 2000, on the verge of yet another surgery to stimulate blood growth, a bit of good news. She was pregnant. A natural stimulus for just the problem surgery was supposed to repair. After time off, having her child and recuperating, she was back at the TA. She stayed there for another 3 years, and then a transfer to the Labor and Employment Unit propelled her from being a state court practitioner to one who practiced in federal court. Her next career move was a 3-year stint as a law clerk with a Jamaican judge that was elected to the Bronx County Supreme Court. The highly regarded Justice Sharon Aarons, another female. Wait, Jamaican woman on the day, I do big things, man. I'm no stranger to it. I know that. I know that you are. I know that you are. The city that I live in the U.S., there was a Jamaican female during the election time that was in the running to be mayor of the city. I voted for her. I voted for her after looking up what she would stand for. Not just the fact that she was a Jamaican, but I was definitely motivated by the fact that it was one of us, right, that was going for that position. However, the Spanish community is very united here. So once you saw a name and a face on a placard that was Hispanic, I was driving around and it's like every Spanish yard, that's where you saw his posters at. So he was able to pull it off. She didn't win, but I wish her all the best, and I'm sure she's going to do great things. She's already doing great things. She's already on the committee. She already works with the city, and she has her own business going and a successful life story. We'll cover her at a later time because I'm sure her story is going to come to the top again soon. Anyhow, her next career move was a 3-year stint at a law clerk with a Jamaican judge elected to the Bronx County Supreme Court, the highly regarded Justice Sharon Aarons. By then, Sharpe had begun to yield to friends urging her to become a judge. I bet she surrounded herself with people who were on the up and up as well. You know, when you want to become a judge, or you want to do nursing, or you want to do law, or you want to do, you have to have people around you. So there are little gems all throughout her story. You want to have people around you who are going to motivate you, even when you can't motivate yourself anymore. And you're only human. So there are going to be those days when you just don't feel like being all motivated, when you don't feel like, I don't know what I do this for. This just taking up a whole lot of my time. I'm not seeing nothing out of it. Yeah, you're going to need those people around you. That's why it's important to surround yourself with people who can motivate you, with people who believe in your dream, with people who believe in your vision, and they're there to add some fuel to your fire when your flames start to, flicker and it's low, blaze you up again, send you on your way. Hey, nah, come on, no quitting stuff. Stop that. You in it. You doing it. We're proud of you. Let's come on, get up. Let's keep going. I don't feel like I want to do this anymore. No, me feel like you want to do it though. This is all you ever talked about, and I'm not gonna let you quit. You need those kind of people around you. If you don't have those kind of people around you, it's best to not have nobody around you. Friends can mean the difference between you actually accomplishing your dreams, goals, visions, and remember, there is no time limit on it. Friends can be that deciding factor. Because if you have a bunch of friends where I say, yeah man, come and cook a party. This weekend we're hanging out at the barbecue at so and so, and then 2 more nights later, hey, come out with come let's go so and so, and we're having this and that. And you're like in your mind, oh, I have to study, I have this coming up, I have that coming up. You need those friends that understand your position. You want me to come chill with you? You want me to use your study cards them and quiz you? And even though they have no interest in the field that you're going in, but they're riding for your team. Them kind of people that you need. Not encouraging you to go all the way off course. You also need those friends though, when you're locked in too much, to say, hey, come, pick up your head a little bit. Let's take a break. You need it's starting to, affect you in a negative way. You're snappy, you're angry all the time. Let's go out this weekend. At least one night out. Let's go have a couple of drinks. You ain't had a drink in a while. A glass of wine or two will do you just fine. You're in good company. Let's go have a drink. Let's go have some conversations. Let's go, breathe out for a while and then come back and refocus. So you don't get burnt out. You're not a machine. You're a human being. You need to surround yourself with good people. All right? Very, very, very important. So she began to yield to her friends, urging her. Our friend of mine say, say you can be one judge though. Say you can be a judge though. You see how far you come already? Keep going. You're going to make it. She's like, nah, the judge thing, me not see myself. I doubt. I doubt. You know what you have to do for be judge? Me can't, no, me can't be. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Come, you're doing it. She had those kind of friends. All right. That's a testament to her character. She kept people around who motivated her in that way. So she started yielding to her friends, urging her to become a judge. But being a civil court judge meant getting the stamp of approval from a panel that is made up of law associations and community organizations. Approval that would only come if they knew what she stood for. It meant networking. It meant attending fundraiser events. It meant rubbing elbows with the who's of who's. Left dependent on two crutches. Listen, left dependent on two crutches after the March 2013 surgery to repair a fracture to her femur. Sharpe showed up to the review panel. She did not have high hopes, but she was there standing on two crutches. She didn't lay down and say, after my foot get better, and I will find an opportunity to go. No, she showed up on two crutches. The amazement. I just didn't think it could happen for me. One, I'm shy. Two, you go and you have to meet people and you have to let them get to see who you are. There are so many other peers there at that event when you go. So many other judges. So here I am, this little Jamaican girl, walking with not one, but two crutches, she said. I kept going, and with God's blessings, grace, and mercy, that's the only way I can describe it. I got the yes. I got the support to be on the ballot for an opening in the civil court. I got elected in November of 2013, and the term is for 10 years, and it started in January of 2014, she added. Now, you notice what she said, right? She never left God out of anything because it was her friends, family, close people motivating her. Two crutches and God, right? She never left God out of anything. That's the only way she could describe it, that she actually made it. Now, I'm not going to read much more of her story because there's a long and a lot more to read. But I'm going to tell you where to find the story. And when we're done doing this show, I'm going to put the link. It is in the Observer. Just go to Google and type in Observer and then the headline of the story, and it will pop up the whole story for you. From Bay Farm Road to New York Supreme Court judge. And I think I read enough of her story. So the message in her story is highly motivating. The message in her story is keep God first in everything. Nobody tell us no God no there. Remember me tell you that. All right. You don't have to believe in God how they want you to believe in God either, because some people believe that if you're not of my religion and if you don't say it the way I say it, and if you don't, then you and God have your special relationship. Make sure you foster that relationship for you. You're going to need it. The journey is long. All right. And what you see today is not what it's going to be tomorrow. I just saw life go. So keep that in mind and keep God first in everything, and keep people around you that are going to not suck your energy and leave you dry, but people you can pull current from, people you can pull energy from. They're pulling from you too, just by being in your presence. So you better be around people that not only can take from you, but you can also take something from them too, to keep you motivated, to keep your fire burning, right? That's what I got from her story. Not to mention, we're talking about Supreme Court judge, okay, in New York City, and we're talking about a Jamaican girl. She described herself, just imagine, a little Jamaican girl with a thick accent and a heavy lisp tongue. You know, people are already telling her, you're not going nowhere. She can't make it. People can't even understand you when you talk. Judge? What judge? Look at her now. Look at her now. So let that be a fire for you this morning. Don't give up. Don't judge yourself by other standards as far as what is success, and don't put no time limit. Oh God, I'm supposed to have made it already. I'm failing because I'm not making it. No. Stay the course. Stay the course. Your good work will pay off. Oh, and before I go on to the other story, one of the things that I think is the most important, because people like to do a lot of I don't know, people have this thing where they do dirty stuff, you know, like hurt people in any way, disrespect people in any way, just live a what we call unsanitary life then. And then later on them run go church and they think all is forgiven. This is the biggest one for me. In your journey, make sure that you sow good seeds, okay? Because karma is not your religion. Karma is universal law. So you put that energy out there into the universe, expect to meet that energy back again. So don't put no stumbling blocks in your own way by doing things that karma is going to repay you in a bad way. Oh man, I didn't plug in. Give me a second. Don't die, don't die. This computer right here, this computer says battery low, and then it just goes out. So I hope it doesn't do that this morning. I forgot to plug up my power supply. All right. That was a short commercial break, and I'm back. All right. So yeah, like I was saying about karma, all the things you're doing, you're keeping God first, you're surrounding yourself with people who are going to motivate you and people who find you motivating as well. And you're also not putting any bad energy out into the universe. Some of we already put bad energy out into the universe because we weren't wise enough. We didn't know better. And that's life. You live and you grow and you learn, right? And you do better. But the karma is still coming back. So brace yourself for that karma. Learn from it. If it don't lick you down too bad, learn from it and just know, say, okay, this is it. This is why I'm going through this. And then move on in a good way. Start sowing some good seeds. All right. All right. So here we go. Now we're going to talk about the tragedy story. That was the success story. We're dealing with one success and one tragedy this morning. And we're staying on the note of keeping people in your life who can motivate you. But this story takes a twist. Now, this story is about, it's from DC Homicide Detective. This is a homicide detective. The irony, a homicide detective. So he investigates murders. This is a highly decorated, seasoned officer. Homicide detective killed by his wife in a murder-suicide. That was the story. So I'm looking at the brother, and then I'm looking at his wife. A lot of people have a lot of negative stuff to say because he is a decorated vet, highly respected in his field. His wife is a Caucasian woman, and they hadn't been married for that long. So in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, look at all the sacrifices this man made. I went and did my research. I found like the lifestyle they were living. You know, he had the bikes and the boats and the car and the big house and huge, humongous house and all that. But 20 years in law enforcement and you're doing, you are a homicide detective. I'm guessing your pay would be pretty good and consistent pay and benefits and all this. And just like that, this man lost his life. People are dragging him. Oh, that's what you got to expect. Where's your African queen? You picked up Becky and Becky took your life. I'm not too keen on that. I won't do that. I won't do that because life has proven to me time and time again that it's not about skin color. It's about people. And I like to judge people individually. Yeah. There is no one set of way to judge any whole group of people. So anyways, his story says, A DC homicide detective was killed by his wife before she fatally shot herself at their home in Waldorf, Maryland. This is what authorities said. A family member found the 50-year-old Timothy Eugene, he was 50, Timothy Eugene Francis, and his 41-year-old wife, Christian Lynn Francis, dead in their home on Merrily Court about 6 p.m. on Friday. This is a report from Charles County Sheriff's Office. Evidence suggests that Christina Francis shot Timothy Francis before shooting herself. It was disturbing to watch her online posts leading up to this whole event. If somebody was paying attention to her, they probably would have seen it. But we'll get into that in a minute. So, Timothy Francis was a member of the Metropolitan Police Department for 20 years. This is what the DC police said. Mourning the tragic loss of our colleague and friend is extremely difficult, Police Chief Peter Newham said in a statement. Detective Francis spent 2 decades protecting the community from violence, and to learn that he was the victim of a homicide is heartbreaking. But the irony, though, you spent the last 2 decades being a homicide detective, and homicide happens to you in your house. I'm not here to judge anybody. You know, my grandmother used to say, when you see some people getting beaten in public, a lot of the times it's for things that they did in private. I'm not saying the man did anything in private, but I do struggle with, because you know, when people pass, everybody, they paint this beautiful picture. He was a dedicated man for 20 years, a homicide detective, fought crime, upstanding guy, and a tragic end. Why would karma pay him in that way? Anyhow, the police union expressed its sympathies, of course, saying that he was a stand-up guy that always held his ground. They're still reeling from the news. So, of course, they're lauding him as one of the best detectives out of their department ever and all this other stuff. I'll just quickly show you his face. It's going to, so that's him right there. I don't know if you can really see it, but that's him, right? And he was one of the finest detectives. His father was also a detective that worked nearly 45 years. His father worked with the police department. So he was like following in daddy's footsteps when he took up this whole policing thing. Now, most recently, he was a detective with the MPD's homicide branch. The branch captain told other detectives about the slaying of the message, and they were all over social media with it. As far as his killing goes, it turns out, I don't know if he had asked his wife for a divorce, and she decided that it was one of those cases where you're not going to leave me. We're supposed to be together forever. You said this day meant everything. We were supposed to build on this day. She just left random messages, and then she started rambling in her messages that she left on social media. And the messages were, it looked like her messages looked like if she took the day before or the day when she did it, earlier during the day, she posted their whole wedding video on social media. I think it was Facebook. She posted the whole wedding video. And then she started calling out people individually. I love you, and I will always love you, and we love you, and we thank you for being there for us, and all this other stuff. And then she shot her husband, and then she shot herself, according to what they're saying. Now, mind you, investigation is still underway. things could be very different. This could very well be some kind of foul play involved and somebody is scapegoating her. But for now, what it seems like is that she killed her husband. I think he wanted a divorce. I think he wanted to move on. They had only been married for 6 years. So I was thinking about this and I was saying to myself, look at this. His career field is a difficult career field to be in. In the DC police department as well, and then a homicide detective, he was probably not in a large group of his peers, if you know what I mean. A lot of the times he was probably the only fly in the buttermilk, if you know what I mean. So to work your way up and accomplish all these things, 20 years, and then someone walks into your life and you open the door and let them in because, who I've always been looking for. You're so radiant and so beautiful and your personality is so nice. Look at the devil waltzing in a shimmery dress, just enticing you. You don't even know who you're getting with. And quickly went from dating to marriage to 6 years and death at the hands of the person who you thought you were going to be forever with. Sad. And he has children that the reporting on this wasn't so thorough because he had children and they showed pictures of the children which are very grown, but they blocked the faces out. And there was also, I think they said there's a 20-something-year-old child and then 2 others who lived at the home. I'm glad she didn't kill the kids, but the kids are big and the kids don't seem like they came from a union of only 6 years. They look more like mid-teens, like 14, 15, 16 kind of age group. So to be taken away from his children after dedicating so much, sometimes you just don't know. You just don't know. I don't think she wanted the divorce. I think she looked at it as a failure. Some people, when they marry up. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean, when they marry up. They marry into a different system, a different caste system, different status. And then to lose all that, because he was way accomplished before he met her. It didn't say anything about her as in what she did for a living, who she was, any of that. It just said that they met 6 years ago, got married shortly after, and this is the end of it for them. She ended up taking both of their lives. She was obviously distraught because the stuff that she was posting on social media was, you could see when somebody it's like when you just start drinking and you're texting. For those of you who ever drunk texted, don't do it. Because when you drunk and you text, you end up start texting people you have no business texting. So, but anyways, she drunk. I mean, you could tell she was either drinking or she took some kind of medication, because it went from straight sentences that were coherent to ramblings like, hey, everybody, please, $, pound, remember, square, $, me, and if you were to read it. So she was going through something, and I think she committed. She made up her mind. Like, this is where it has to end. This is what I have to do. I have to carry this out. And when she was committed to that idea, I think he was probably so busy with his life and his career and stuff, he didn't even see what she was doing. Winston Gale, you caught that one, huh? Don't text nobody when you're drunk, because you will text the wrong person and say all the things that you're not supposed to say. Not true? Anyhow, yeah, he decided to give up that marriage for whatever the reason is. Probably realized at some point that she was crazy and he just couldn't work with crazy anymore. I don't know. But she had a streak and it came to that. The man worked, established himself before he even met her. So like I said, some people marry up, and if they are to lose what they marry into, then it's like all hell break loose, you know? Oh God, you're gonna send me back to poverty again? You mean, and then I'm probably get divorced and have nothing. We don't have any kids together. We've only been married for 6 years. I'm definitely not taking half of his stuff. That kind of stuff. We have the boats, we have the big house, we have the bikes, we have the. If I leave now, I'm going back to nothing. And some people take that really hard. Some people don't have the mindset to say, you know what? I can walk away from all this. That's me. That's me. That's my mindset. My mindset is I've always told myself I'm an architect. I build and I destroy, right? Once it's starting to destroy me, I destroy that whole thing. I just break it down, leave. Meaning, not hurt anybody, but I leave. And when I leave and leave everything. The clothes can stay, the furniture can stay, everything can stay. I'll go somewhere else and start all over again. But some people don't have that mindset. For some people, it's they cling to everything. And this is their world. And if any of this goes, then life might as well go with it. Well, for me, there's no more precious thing than life itself, and a healthy life at that. My sanity is the most important thing. So once it starts bother my meds, so much to the point where I'm starting to be irrational, so much to the point where I just can't focus on a daily basis, I'm gone. I'm cutting. We're going to have to pick up the pieces later on. You probably read about me. Yeah, my spouse ran away. I don't know what happened. I came home one day and he was gone. He never took no clothes or nothing. That probably would be me. Never take no clothes or anything. But I see him on SouFLoTV, or I see him gone. I'm not sticking around for it. Yes. Marmar says, I want peace, so I'll walk away. By show of hands, how many people are able to do that? How many people are able to walk away from everything and say, you know what? I'm out. Not even the clothes. I wouldn't even take time to pack. I'll just walk away. Have the clothes, pack it up, throw it out, get to a new man. I don't care. Have everything. I'm out and I'm gone. You know? So in his case, man, I can't say he could have walked away without her knowing. I don't know the details of them story. Michelle says, yes, I did. When I left my child's mother, I left everything: house, clothes, tools, the car. That's Zuberi. You see? And some of us can do that. Some of us can do that because your sanity, man, your sanity comes first. And life is so tricky, you don't even know who you're bringing into your life. Look at the Jamaican guy out in Arizona. And he was from Brooklyn. And a lot of people know him from Brooklyn. This brother worked his way into a position. And this is his longtime girlfriend that end up marrying. They've been married. They're young. And they've been married since they were younger. I think they got married at 20 and 21 years old. You know, 20 and 21, that's that age where you're just now coming out of teen. You're past your senior teen. Now you're supposed to start trying to figure out, you know, plot your route and figure out and go out here and feel life out a little bit. I'm not saying whore yourself out. A lot of people take those years to whore themselves out or to make an excuse. This is my whoring years. You don't have to have whoring years. You just got to have time to go see life, go explore a little bit, right? And they did all that. And all this time, and look at how he went out at the hands of his wife from way back when. They're in their young 30s and they've been married over 12 years. And they're young 30s. I think 32, 34, or 32 and 34, or 32 and 33. And they've already had been married over 12 years. And this is the same person who hired somebody to shoot him. She didn't hire nobody. That's her side man. She has a child. I don't think the child is his. I think the child is the dude who But he was making moves. And sometimes in life, when people come into your life, they come into your life because you are a vessel that's going somewhere. Not necessarily because they want you or they see you as a forever person. Listen up. It's not necessarily because they want you or they find you so attractive and they see you as a forever person. Half of the time you on somebody's list, it's he looked good enough to pass. Ain't really my type, but I could work with it. Him not ugly or nothing. Can't work with that. He's going places. So that part I like. I'll hitch my wagon to this rocket ship that's going somewhere and I'll hang on for the ride. That's what a lot of people are in your life for. A lot of people ain't in your life just because they love you so much and they'll do anything for you and we're gonna be here till the end of time. This is an eternal love. No, they're there for when the good is good, not when good turns bad. That's why when good turns bad, you get to find out who are the people that are really there for you, because you'll realize that a majority of who was there cut, dispersed, gone. We have a saying in Jamaica, if you want to know who your friends are, just lay low for a minute. Yo, I'm broke. Nothing on going for me. My whole heap of money over here, so I can't go out and party no more. I can't do this, I can't do that. Holiday season come, I can't buy gifts, I can't nothing. That's where you're gonna find out who your real friends are. Who still call you and say, yo, you all right? You good? I know you say I go through some hardship and thing. I don't really have much, but the little me have, I can share with you. Let me know if you need anything here. Who? If you have those in your life, then you are truly blessed. Okay? If you have those in your life, then you're truly blessed. But that's life. People come into your life, they come in with a face on and a story and a pretense that you could never imagine. But Bob Marley said, right, that who you are is who you are. The core of who you are never changes. So you can put on all kind of facade and masquerade and pretend to be something else all you want to, but the real you will eventually filter right back out for everyone to see. So when you get in these gatherings and relationships and thing, situationships and thing, you're dealing with a mask. You're dealing with a masquerade. You don't know who you're really dealing with. Everything look good because that's how it's made to be presented. Right? It's made to be presented. This is the hook in the fish and reeling you in. And of course, you know, when love is new and you're all in it and everything is good, you haven't seen the real person yet. That's why relationships are those that are tried and proven. Those are the ones that I look at. You've stood the test of time. You're tried and you're proven. You know everything about them. Them know everything about you. Listen, this is where I'm at. This is my person. I can deal with all her foolishness. She can deal with all my foolishness because none of us are imperfect and we all have our faults. But as years go by is when you get to really know that mask slowly starts to fade. Some people are busy though, keeping the mask on. Oh, my mask is fading. I gotta put my mask back on. Can't make him see the real me, or can't let her see the real me. And they stay in character. That's what happened to the brother from Brooklyn that went out to Arizona, was very successful, got killed by his wife. Imagine hiring somebody to shoot your husband, right, of 12 years. And then this person shoot, bow, hit him in the stomach. And he goes, and he's walking around. And you so scared as the shooter that you take off. And then a text message comes in. He's outside in the parking lot. This ain't wife, you know. He's outside in the parking lot. This after you shot the man in his belly. And the wife was so cold that she said, "Still lock up her own gun. Him outside in that parking lot. Where you shoot him in his belly, that means I'm not guaranteed for dead." She went out there and shoot him in his face. Headshot. To make sure that he died. And her plan was what? Insurance money and a new life in a new location. So you see, he's there planning forever, giving her everything, treating her queenly, and she's planning New location, insurance, money, new life. And you have to go. So we live in that kind of world where you lay down and sleep, and you gotta sleep like this. And any little noise you hear around your house, nobody feel like say, my honey baby, this won't do me nothing. People letting gunman upon them spouse, and you're wondering, it happened to a teacher in Jamaica recently, a couple of months back recently, probably about a year now, if that long. And the minute it happened, I said, when I covered that story, I said her husband have something to do with it. Well, he got arrested, and it turns out that he did have something to do with it. A lot of people came out and kept saying, yo, that lady there, she a hustler she a young girl, well focused, had multiple businesses around town, all this other stuff. She buy our house before man. So it wasn't like man come give our house and all these things, build up our nice house and these kind of things. They're in bed. Imagine your bed nice and clean. You probably say, yeah, me I'll get some tonight, or me I'll give baby some tonight, or just gonna cuddle. You know, if it be none of that. Just gonna cuddle. It's the end of the day. Had a long day. I'm running businesses. I'm just want to relax and be next to the person I love. And this person is right there thinking 11 o'clock tonight. I have to leave that door here open because I need the gunman them to come in, and they're going to kill her right next to me. It's a cold world. It's a cold world. You got to really, really be careful who you let into your life. But sometimes you just still don't know. Even when you check all the boxes, cross all the T's and dot the I's, you can still miss it. And I think this guy, he missed crazy. She had issues. And I'm talking about the police officer whose wife killed him, not the Jamaican guy. For her, she's a real snake. That's a perfect example of someone that hitched their wagon to a rocket that was going. He's good. Morning, babe. Few second time. Hi, Papa.
No, I need to change his diaper.
Oh, can I go, mommy?
Come, Papa.
Go change your diaper. Yeah, so I don't know when Kai come out what that means. It's the end of the show for me. So gotta be careful who you let in your life, but sometimes we just don't know. That's why you see you have to pray for the spirit of discernment. You have to be able to see certain things, and you have to know what it is you're seeing, and stop lying to yourself. Because a lot of times we lie to ourselves too, and we start to get comfortable with crazy, and we think, I could work with that, and then it get crazier. It's who that, babe? It's who that crying? Mommy crying? So yeah, you have to pray for them thing there and be able to see people. Y'all hear my babies, they're up. My baby girl crying. So I feel bad for him, but my feelings ain't gonna change what happened to him at this point. We could just learn from what others go through. Yeah. I don't want to tell you to be paranoid, but I'm gonna tell you like this: don't be 100% comfortable in any relationship, unless you're one of those couples that have stood the test of time. That's why I love talking to elderly people who are couples, and them can say, yes, SouFlo, man, 30 odd years now, me and my husband, 40 odd years now, me and my wife, we not gonna nowhere. Listen, we've been through some things, and then you can say, yeah, I couples goals, that's all. But if you notice, most people nowadays is couples goals for a couple of years at the most, and then you see them with somebody new, and you're like, but what happened to couples goals? It never work out. And a couples goals again with somebody new, and then somebody new, because the people you're picking keep filtering on out. The mask comes off, the real person came out, and you're like, oh hell no, I can't deal with this. Have to go. Can't deal with this. I had no idea you were this kind of a person. You know what I mean? And sometimes I saw my unuto who's sitting there talking about, yes, SouFlo, preach it. I know you are the crosses, but yes, SouFlo, preach it. You are the crosses. So let me end it by saying this morning. A lot of us have, some of us do, some of us don't. But there are a lot of people I realize that don't have the ability to look into oneself. You know, some people who talk bad about other people, and all the things that they talk bad about the other people that they talk bad about is the same things that they do. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have the ability to see that I'm that same kind of person. So in essence, then you don't have the ability to look in yourself, to look within yourself. And I said this before, to look, it's a big part. Look, when you're able to look in the mirror or to look in yourself and to say, yep, that's terrible, man. That's really a part of you. You want to change that. And then you start get up every day trying to change those negative things about yourself. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people don't have the ability to do that. They can see out all day. They even point fingers at people who are just like them and say how disgusting they are or nasty behavior. Look at that. I've seen women look at other women, dirty girl, nasty girl that. Why are you such a nasty? Cause look how she do, because she carry herself on everything. And then you look at them and she's doing the same exact thing. She carry herself the same way. She behave the same way. She dress the same way. She do everything the same way. But she can't see it on herself, but she can see it outside in everybody else. Yeah. Same thing to man too. Same. That's just all of us, but not all of us. Some of us have gotten to the maturity level where you can accept your wrongs, whether we start to try to fix them or not. A starting point is admitting and knowing and admitting that it's there. So damn, this is me. I got some messed up ways. I gotta change this. You know, some people relish in their messed up ways and wake up every day if you live that messed up way. This is just me and me not change nobody, and you know. And then there are others who, over time, you start to mature. That's one of the beautiful parts of maturing as you age, and you start to think like, wow, this is me. No, me really have to change this. This don't look good. I don't want nobody talking. I don't want nobody knowing this about me, that I'm this way. I don't want nobody talking about me like this. Anytime you start to live that life where there are ways about you that you don't want nobody to know, you know, say, yeah, live dirty. But do you have the ability to look within yourself and say, it's bad. It's bad. I'm disrespectful. I'm cantankerous. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other. And I need to change it. Some people just drag their dirty, bad ways from one relationship to the next. Well, you can't accept me, somebody else will. And then down the road, them find themselves with a next and a next and a next. And the solution is simple, but they just can't get to it. It's you. It's you. Soon as you start fix up that part of you, instead of blaming everybody else that you leave or everybody else that leave you. You know, some people pride themselves on being the leaver. Right? Me no wait for them to slip. Me just left them. Yeah, but you're on to a next one and the next one and the next one. And time is passing and you're getting older. And you're still going next to next to next. You have to go fix up some of your ways. So I'll leave you with that this morning. Be one of those kind of people that can look in from the outside. Right? An introspective kind of person. You look in and you're able to say, wow, no, I got to fix this. I got to fix this. Right? Because that's what it's all about. It's about growth and maturity. And it's about making those changes that are going to get you to that place, that Zen place of a person that you ultimately hope to be. That way you can be you all the time without having to put on a face all the time. All right? I'm going to leave it right there this morning. Kai, get out. All right. Kai's on his engineer stuff again. And before he start taking my stuff apart, I'm out. Come say goodbye, Papa. Say goodbye. Want to come say goodbye? Kai's like, mm. All right, so have a wonderful day, people. Manners and respect. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, surround yourself with people that give that energy that you can feed off of, right? Surround yourself with people that you can learn from. They can learn from you. They can motivate you. They can help you to keep that fire burning. Don't surround yourself with people that are going to make you feel like they're sucking your energy dry and you have to go recoup and get some more energy from somewhere else. Them kind of thing there. And just keep it positive, man. Sow good seeds. Put something good out in the universe. Always be conscious of that. Have to sow good seeds. Have to put good out in the universe. Your good will come back to you. Okay? And that's where we're at with it today. Manners and respect, and thank you for being here. Our Father's love is sweeter than your best experience outside of Him. All right, more blessings, bro. Manners and respect. What's that? What's that? That's how daddy sleep? That's how daddy sleep. I'm out. Peace. Tea?